Hey guys, hope you're having a nice day, and it's time to play D.Va at the Brexit holdout. And man, D.Va is super fun to play. Like, I'm actually really enjoying her. She's definitely not as good like as some other warriors, as some other tanks, because she isn't necessarily a tank. But she is, I don't know, she's like very mobile, very just fun to play, just straight up fun to play. And like one of the best parts about her as a hero is that she has, I mean, I would argue that she has 3 heroics instead of only like 1 like other heroes, because you have your defense metrics, that's 75% damage reduction for enemy heroes. So like if you land it, it can negate most ultimates, most heroic abilities from other heroes easily. Then you have your self-destruct, which is basically a Tracer's pulse bomb that is harder to use, but it does a lot of damage in an area, which is kind of awesome. And yeah, obviously then at level 10 you choose your bunny hop, a big shot. Both are fine. I think bunny hop might be a little bit better in terms of like tanking, right? If you want your D.Va to be a tank, you definitely want to go for bunny hop. Whereas a big shot is more of a, I don't want to say damage oriented, because I think that using big shot is actually a DPS loss. It's an AoE ability, so if you can land it on multiple people, then yeah, you will gain some damage. But primarily, big shot is way more useful as your like mech cooldown reduction tool, rather than an actual damage ability, at least in my opinion. But sometimes you can secure those like with people who are escaping from you. Big shot in terms of that is definitely useful. Like it has an incredible, oh no, I might be dead. It has an incredible range, so obviously using it as a way to secure a kill can be beneficial. I need to be careful because Tyrael can do a surprising amount of burst damage. So me being kind of vulnerable in this form doesn't really help too much. So there we go. Like the way defense metrics works, by the way, is that you kind of project it onto the enemy team, right? And everyone who stands in it does 75% less damage. And the way it works is so long as they stand in it. So for example, if you have like let's say let's say Keltas casting Pyroblast, the way to mitigate his damage would be to cast defense metrics onto Keltas when Pyroblast impacts, not when Pyroblast is cast. So keep that in mind. Like it's like that's kind of the way it works. Oh no, that's a Ragnaros. I might die here, so I'm gonna try to be super aggro and try to reset the cooldown on my mech, which I was able to do successfully. But we have a self-destruct right now, by the way, so it's not really a good damage ability. It's much better at its zoning capabilities because people are forced to run away. Whereas when you think about damage, you might not even get like usually you don't do any damage with your self-destruct because people run away from it. But you always get that zoning value. So right now, like right there, I used it, and then we secured the beacon because of my self-destruct, which is also awesome. Also, I think that D.Va is extremely useful on a map like Battlefield of Eternity. That was the wrong button. Like Battlefield of Eternity, because she can easily harass the enemy team while they are racing for the Immortals. Like D.Va gets a lot of value. Like that 75% damage reduction, it is the difference between you winning the race and the enemy team. So obviously it's useful that way. I probably shouldn't have died there. So yeah, as D.Va you will kind of be tempted to just let your mech die quite often. But it's kind of the same as the Auric. Like yes, oh, I'm dead now. Like yes, it's not really that big of a deal if you die, but you still don't really want to be losing your mech all the time, because it actually grants the enemy team half of a level in terms of XP. And then you are like forced to run around your pilot form, which like you might think that when you are in your pilot form you are completely useless, and you would be absolutely wrong. Like in fact, there are some scenarios where it would actually be a lot more beneficial for you to lose your mech, because you would get the DPS boost. Because in the pilot form, D.Va does more DPS than Greymane does. Like Greymane in his working form actually loses to D.Va's pilot form auto attacks. unless Greymane is using his Razor Swipe. So like the way you do DPS, like consistent good DPS as Greymane in Worgen form, is like you get your auto attacks in with your attack speed boost, and then when your auto attack timing is down, you then use your Razor Swipes, right? And that's how you win versus D.Va. But if you just straight up auto attack and do nothing else, as Greymane, D.Va does more damage per second in her pilot form. So that's kind of awesome. So like again, the Battlefield of Eternity map kind of comes up here. It's like quite often. It's a lot better to let your mech die before an immortal phase, and then just DPS it as a pilot. And while you're in the mech, what you should be doing then you want to be defending, because your mech doesn't do any damage. Almost any damage. Like, it's completely negated. Like, Lily will just out-heal it with her just basic healing. Which is not the best. Not the best, for sure. Can we get this D.Va kill? Oh, the pushback from Lucio. Well played by him. He definitely saved her there. Also, on Brexit's D.Va can be quite impactful. We have our self-destruct, so we can just one-shot a wave. Like, maybe if the enemy team wins the beacon phase here, I can maybe showcase it to you guys. Okay, let's not lose our mech right now. Kind of want it to be alive. So by the way, when playing with D.Va or versus D.Va, the way to see whether she can use her mech or whether she can use self-destruct is this pink bar under her health bar. Like, while in a mech with that pink bar, it means that D.Va can use her self-destruct. Whereas in the pilot form, if you see that pink bar, it means that D.Va can use her mech, and like and shape. Like right now, I have this pink bar, so this means that I can be a mech anytime I want to. It can be interrupted though, so if you properly play around. Oh, she went for that extra damage. Oh wow, it actually did a lot. Yeah, I stood point blank to it, so obviously self-destruct did a ton of damage to me. Damn. Okay, that sucks. So yes, the way self-destruct also works, the closer you stand to it, the more damage it will do. So obviously you want to be running away from it. Even if you can't run away completely from its radius, getting far away from like... getting as far away from the center as possible is still worth it. So like, don't be like, okay, I'm gonna get exploded anyway, so I might as well not run. No, it's always worth running. Also, D.Va is amazing at body blocking because she doesn't need to stutter step. Even though you are moving slightly 15% less fast than any other hero because of your mecha out, because of your mech form, you just have less movement speed. 15% less movement speed. So you might think that it's kind of hard to catch up to people, but because of your hitbox and like the fact that you can just constantly attack people, it actually works out really well for you. Okay, let's try to kill them. I will have my mech in like 5 seconds here, because while you are attacking people in your pilot form, your mech actually gets reset, which is obviously helpful. That was good. Ragnaros should have used his... I'm dead. Yeah, that was my bad. Good job. Good job there by them. Yeah, Ragnaros should have... Oh, he went for Lava Wave. He should have used his Silver as the moment attack his dive move with the Judgment. That would have just straight up killed me right away. But oh well. So we went for Bunny Hop. It's a better... Like, in my opinion, it's just a better ultimate. Like, you can set up good engages for your team, you can maybe disengage, and at level 20 you can even use it to kill people because of stop and pop. 150% extra damage if you stand still. And keep in mind that you don't actually need to be standing still all the time. You can time it so that like you move and then you press the S key right before you impact the ground. And that way you are still moving, but you are doing that extra damage nonetheless, which is kind of awesome in my opinion. I'm gonna try to push them away. It's not gonna happen, so I'm dead. Yeah, I completely misplayed that. I should have used my boosters to run away instead of, yep, that was bad. I used my boosters to push them away, try to secure the beacon. I should have used them to run away. That was horrible. That was horrible. Oh, Pilot actually only awards 50% of normal's hero deaths too. So I thought that the way it worked, it was mech 50, mech is a half of a death, right? And then the Pilot is a full death. But apparently no, it's also 50%. So that's kind of neat. It's still kind of bad, like you definitely don't want to be dying as D.Va, that's just horrible. It's a lot better to kill your mech with your self-destruct too, rather than just to let it die, because when using self-destruct you don't actually gain some XP, and what's even better is that every time you use self-destruct, you have then 4 seconds. If you stay alive for 4 seconds as a Pilot, Okay, I'm gonna try to damage mitigate Ragnarok there, so he won't get any value from his lava wave. I think that worked out really damn well for us. I really do. Oh, he's too far away. So yeah, our Zerg is still alive, even though they were hit by the lava wave. So maybe we can achieve something here. I don't know why we aren't as aggro as we should be. Like, I feel like we should be forcing this so damn hard. Tessadar, can you shield me? Oh my god, shield. I thought we had a shield from Tessadar. Where did he use it? Because I would have survived there, and I would have just healed myself up. I assume he went for Kala's Embrace, yeah. So I don't know what happened there. I didn't see his shield at all, so I assumed that he had the cooldown. So I don't know why he didn't use it. So yeah, always keep, when playing versus D.Va, always keep in mind that pink bar under her health, it's a lot of information you can get. Like right now, the fact that she doesn't have any of the self-destruct charge, this means that if we kill the mech, we can kill the D.Va. Because if, for example, look at my charge bar. If they try to kill me right now, I will just use my mech form, I will just use my self-destruct, and not only they won't get, right before I die, and not only they won't get the value from my death, they won't also not, they will set up themselves into a scenario where we can turn around and kill them instead. So that's obviously, that was probably a waste. I'm gonna try to mitigate some damage from the D.Va. Okay, there we go. Let's kill them, team. Oh, he should have judgmented D.Va there. That could have been a kill. Ragnarok is so much more survivable than she is. She will use her mech, by the way. Unless she does Big Shot. That's why I don't like Big Shot. It's kind of the same as using triple tap, right? You do a ton of damage, but it locks you down in one place, and that leaves you vulnerable. Look at how much health we heal up, by the way, because of the shield from Tessadar. Let's kill those things, too. There we go. Let's actually do a camp, too. Because why not? So yeah, staying in the Pilot form right here, we do, it's better than going mech. Mech does almost no damage. You do a little bit of a burst with your hits and Nitrous, but that's pretty much it. And that's why I like this talent a lot, because it makes your mech a lot more useful in terms of damage output. Not only you can use your boosters to push people around and reposition yourself, but it also makes it a good burst ability. Oh, well played. I'm dead now. I thought I would be able to cast it. I shouldn't have used it the way. Okay, that was just horrible. A completely horrible play by me. I thought that I would have enough time in between Tyrael casting his judgment and me using my mech, Call Mech, because Call Mech can be interrupted. That's the worst part about it. And if you are facing Alrak as D.Va, that's your straight up counter. It shuts you down so damn hard. He can just push you around, silence you. You won't be ever to use mech in the Pilot form. But I thought that Tyrael won't have enough time to judge me while I'm using my mech. But because it was point blank, it triggered instantly. So it was definitely my bad. Oh, too bad we lost the top beacon too. So we're gonna go for emergency plating, probably. They have lots of heavy hitters, so ablative armor probably won't get the value. Aside from D.Va, there isn't really too much damage we can mitigate there. Ablative armor is actually amazing versus Tracer. Okay, let's go for GG, well played. I definitely enjoy that talent a lot. Oh damn, not quite enough damage. Also, you can use your defense metrics to prevent the damage from D.Va's self-destruct, which is absolutely amazing too. I feel like. Oh, we didn't kill her. Come on, team. Well, that was a misplay by me. That was a completely wasted mech. Yeah, you want to be careful when using it together with your boosters, because that's a sure way to like set up something good, but it also can make it completely irrelevant if you send it too far, the way I did. That wasn't the greatest. But we got 2 beacons. Let's get this globe. We're gonna get our cooldowns in just a second here. Let's try to kill that D.Va. There we go. We did it. We killed the D.Va. Just as planned. So maybe we can heal up. Oh, let's actually engage this Ragnaros a bit better. There we go. Distracted Lucio there. Probably didn't really need it, but we did it anyways. So that's nice. Yeah, she's definitely like super fun to play. I'm having an absolute blast. Also, GG, well played. Resets the cooldown on your call max. So if you go into a pilot mode, not only you do 50% extra damage, but you might also... Oh, wow, I should have cancelled my boosters immediately there. Can I mitigate the damage from his... I don't think I did. I don't think it did anything. He is, like, invulnerable in that mode, right? So I don't think that I prevented any damage there. Because it actually hurt Nova real bad. Is Abyss actually doing that? That is so dumb. That just... It doesn't work as well as it used to. So I don't know if that's even worth doing that. But yeah, it resets the cooldown on your max, so don't be fooled by a D.Va with no call mech charge when she's in a pilot form, if she has this talent. Like, because very often, like, she will kind of bait you in. Oh no, I think I missed it. I think I whiffed it. Okay, team, let's go. Also, you're unstoppable while using your bunny hop, which is also amazing. And now we are zoning the enemy team in here. And no damage from the explosion. Good stuff. Kill the D.Va. Oh damn. I probably should have used boosters. I don't know, like if I didn't use boosters on her max there, I probably wouldn't have died. She probably wouldn't have died. Okay, if we get a reset now, we can call mech almost like immediately. Immediately to reset, we will be able to call mech there. I don't know why she walked that far. Like, I know what she was trying to do there, but that just didn't work for her whatsoever. Okay, team. Also, I'm pretty sure that defense metrics actually affects your affects the Abyssor head. Pretty sure that's the way it works. Okay. I think he just gave up. I mean, we are just pushing this in. I don't know if they can stop this. This is so cool. Roger. Also, your self-destruct does reduce damage to structures, kind of the way magic missiles from the Mingdu. I think this was helpful. I don't know. I think we mitigated quite a bit of damage from Ragnaros there. Can we end the game? That's the real question here. So let's go ahead and try to kill this D.Va. Like, look at how much damage we do. 300 damage per hop. That's kind of crazy. Like, come on. Let's kill the core with our GG, well played. Goddamn, top damage. So yeah, D.Va isn't like a tank in the standard like view of tanks, right? She can't do the same thing as Archers does, she can't do the same thing as Varian does, right? They just lock people down, they have extremely like amazing peel, right? Like when somebody dives your healer as Varian, you just charge them, taunt them, your healer is completely safe. D.Va can't really do that. What she does though is that she's good at harassing, creating chaos in the enemy ranks, and she has very impactful cooldowns. So if you can properly use your cooldowns and not like mess them up, like not missing your defense metrics is huge. Like you need to be very, very careful, because if you don't miss it, that's a one team fight. If you do miss it, now you are just doing nothing for 3 seconds. Luckily you can cancel it, so you can maybe do some damage with your auto attacks, but that's not really as cool as mitigating 75% damage from the enemy team, right? Obviously landing your self-destruct is just like, it's so cool. Like D.Va is just so damn fun to play, and I feel like she is maybe a little bit hard to play against, because if you don't understand the intricacies of her, like that whole self-destruct and call mech mechanics, like the way you reset the cooldowns and when you can call the mech, when she cannot call the mech. So if you don't understand how that works, she can be kind of hard to deal with, because you don't necessarily know when it's a good idea to engage her, right? But if you know, like if you properly understand her cooldowns, she can be easy to deal with. And as I said before, Alarak is a huge counter to her, because the silence, engage, like telekinesis and silence, it just completely shuts you down. Like you can't use your boosters, you can't use your ultimate, you can't prevent any damage because you're silenced. So like while it's also like what's really bad about Alarak is that he is effective versus her mech form and he is effective versus her pilot form. Like one combo from Alarak brings the D.Va's pilot form from 100% to like 25% health, then he auto attacks her once and she's dead. And in the mech form, D.Va needs to not be crowd controlled in order to be effective, and the silence from Alarak completely shuts her down. So if you are playing, like if there is an Alarak on the enemy team, maybe don't pick up D.Va. Might be you're in for a hard time. Like you better be sure that you can deal with the Alarak pressure, otherwise you're gonna be pretty much useless for the rest of the game. Yeah, like she's definitely very impactful. Even though she's not a tank, she feels useful, and that's what I like about her. She feels useful, even though maybe she is not. But like, we got the most damage on our team. Well, okay, we didn't have any dedicated damage dealers in form of like Vala, in form of Gul'dan, something like that. But still, that was incredible. That was actually incredible. We died a lot though, but I played very aggressively. I died in a very stupid situations where I tried to make a play, but it just backfired completely into my face, so you need to keep that in mind too. Like, don't be like, oh yeah, I have a mech and then I have my pilot form, I'm gonna be super safe. No, if you die in a mech, and if you are out of position, if your mech dies, you will die twice, 90% of the time. So don't be like, yeah, I can survive, I can let my mech die, no big deal. No, it's a big deal. Be very, very careful. So I think that's gonna be it. So if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.